we're here in the village. We're going to go get a little bit of colour, get some tech, but let's maybe avoid the meat, so because it's only 10:30 and I don't want any salami sweats just yet. Let's crack on. That's right, we've got loads of tech to get through. Let's kick things off with probably the most exciting bit, and that is over at AG2R Le Mondial Citroën, because they've got new BMC. Now, we did see this brake cover at the Dauphiné, so a couple of weeks before the Tour de France, but this is the first time I've managed to get my camera out and get a few snaps of it up close. This thing looks like it will be the replacement for BMC's Time Machine, because, well, there's definitely a lot of aero tubes, aero profiles going on there. In fact, that sticker on the down tube clearly shows that BMC have been working with the Red Bull Advanced Technologies, the people behind the Red Bull Oracle F1 team. So it should be pretty slippery. It's definitely a big departure from the Time Machine. It doesn't look like they've carried much of the technology over at all. And the reason for that, I'm guessing, is because there's new UCI rules on tube profiles. So they're definitely using them to the best of their abilities. Up close, well, and even in these pictures, there's more curves on it than the Alpine Pass. And the one standout feature is definitely them forks. They are excessively wide. Can fit more than 32 in there, but the reason they're probably making them so wide is because if you look at a lot of high-end track bikes now, high-end time trial bikes, they're making them big wide forks because the clever clogs at wind tunnels have learnt that it doesn't cause dirty air there, so makes things that little bit faster. There's a few carryover technologies from a couple of their other bikes, including integrated bottle cages and hidden through axles, but it all looks pretty damn neat if you ask me. There was only one rider on it the day I looked at it, and that was Benoit Cosnefroy, and he was lucky enough to be using the new wireless Campagnolo Super Record group set. In fact, there was only him and Ben O'Connor on bikes with it. But what is interesting is you definitely don't need to believe everything that Campagnolo says, because they claim the new group set doesn't work with the previous generation chain set, but take a look at that old Super Record Power to Max power meter chain set there, matched to the new Super Record 12-speed wireless group set. Okay, on to a few more bits, and helmets next. Now, if you've been to France and had a bit of a bike ride around, you will know that it's impossible to not see the Accoy brand out and about on the roads. This French brand are huge here, and they produce a lot of soft goods, helmets and shoes, and sponsor quite a few teams in the peloton, including Lotto Destiny, Israel Premier Tech, Cofidis, and I'm probably forgetting a few others. They had a brand new helmet at the race, again one that we had seen at Dauphiné, but it had a funny black and white paint job on it. This time round the teams were using the custom team coloured ones. This is the new Aero helmet. Apparently, it's been designed by the people over in Italy who have been behind designing, well, many aero stuff, including a few De Rosa bikes. Those people being the Pininfarina design house. A few interesting features from the helmet. It's got the Koroyd, that honeycomb straw-like structure instead of EPS foam. There's an A-top BOA system on the back of the helmet for the retention, and a Fidlock magnetic buckle. Oh, and the name of it is the Aerodynamica. They're not the only ones with a new helmet though. Abus have got the Movistar team rocking the new Game Changer 2. This was released just before the Tour rolled out of Bilbao. It looks very similar to the original one that was released, I think, about 6 years ago. But there is a few design tweaks. There is a big mouth type vent on the bottom of the front of the helmet. This, I'm told by the good folks at Abus, is because a lot of the pros were finding that with the sunglasses being so large now, they're not getting enough ventilation on the front of the head there. Because of that big vent, it's apparently 18% more ventilated than the old one. Now you'll be happy to hear we've got one of these in for test, so stay tuned for a full review of that. Oh, and one neat little bit of detail here is the helmets are all made in Italy, like everything, including the straps. And the straps are sewn by the people who apparently sew all the Victoria's Secret lingerie. So should be nice and neat. On to another Italian brand, Rudy Project. They don't have a new helmet out there, but they do have a new set of sunglasses. Anyway, here's a bit of an interview with a gentleman who, when live on TV, likes to use the old F-bomb now and again. Good looking jersey. They definitely turned that round quickly for you.
I know, it's impressive that with the speed they can sort these things out. It's it's an honour to be wearing these stripes. Look down, I guess it's got white socks on, nice stripes on my arms, it's lovely.
Who was the first rider that you sort of looked up to at the British national champs jersey?
I got asked this question, I'd say Wiggins, mate. I think he crashed out, was it in 2011?
Will be, yeah.
Champ stripes.
Yeah.
I remember watching the Tour then when I was a kid, and yeah, him being in the stripes there going for the GC. I'm obviously not going for the GC, but I'll be going for some stage wins, hopefully.
Now, we just mentioned about the first rider you remember wearing a World Champs, British Champs jersey. There's a fantastic picture doing the rounds of a little ginger kid.
I know, yeah.
Looking up at you,
yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Do you reckon he could be the next?
I hope
give
so.
him 7,
he had a Real Madrid top on.
Yeah.
I hope he looks at cycling and goes, yeah, I'll give that a try, and becomes the next champion.
Spot on. What team should he support then?
Bahrain victorious. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Just a few little bits I noticed. Louis Garneau isn't a brand that we see as much of in the peloton anyway, but they are still sponsoring, well, at least Simon Clark. Cav also had a custom pair of shoes. And then Shimano had quite a few custom pairs of shoes for their riders as well. And that leads nicely into the Lotto Destiny team, because they've got a new Ridley on show. Now, there was more riders using it at the start of the race than there is now, because Caleb's gone off home, hasn't he? But it's a bike that looks like it sits between the Noah and the Helium. It's got a few aero features there, and at the same time it looks pretty lightweight. We've not got much detail on this, but it does have a silhouette that is, well, very much on trend at the moment. Definitely looks like it takes 32mm tyres up front and on the rear. And the team are using dead bars and stem. So it definitely means that there isn't a dedicated proprietary bar and stem. Looks like you can chop and change a bit. So that's good news there. Over to UAE. Apart from having what doesn't look like a great coffee machine, it looks like they've got some pretty good tech elsewhere though. Because the team is sponsored by Shikon. Yes, they're better known for their bike bags and luggage. But they also make sunglasses and have been making some really good inroads into that market over the past couple of years, and it looks like they've got new ones on show here. In fact, I know there was 19 pairs of these sunglasses kicking around the peloton at the Tour, and they're all 3D custom printed. These things aren't available as of yet. So the frame itself is 3D printed, the arms are titanium, as is the nose piece, plus apparently those nose pieces are custom fitted to the rider's face. The lens, I'm told also about Claudio, the main man behind Shikon, is a photochromatic sort of red, prismy type tint that hasn't been used anywhere else in the industry as of yet. Sticking with UAE, it's rude not to look at their bikes, innit? These guys, of course, are on the Colnago V4 RS. Now, if you want to see more of these bikes, I did do a bike check back at the start of the year when I went to the team camp in Calpe. But there's a few changes because, well, old Pogs tried to make the bike even lighter. That's right, up front there is a carbon chainring from Carbon TI. And there is some new one-piece bar and stem from Envy. There was actually quite a few riders of the team using it, which is a bit of a surprise really, because we hadn't seen me using them in the build-up to the Tour, so must say a lot about the quality of the bar. And of course, with Envy being a sponsor, it's not just the bars that they use, it's the wheels as well. Right, that's your lot from this Tour Tech video. There is more coming your way. I'm a little bit behind. I won't go into why, but trust me, I've got a good reason. Right, let us know what you think of all the goodies in this video. Join the old conversation. And as always, thanks for watching and enjoy your riding. And subscribe if you haven't already.